Die Hard. It's considered both a Christmas movie and not a Christmas movie, depending on who you ask, but let's look at both sides of the argument. So as we know, Die Hard takes place at Christmas time, but I have seen people on Reddit and online saying, well, it doesn't really matter what time it took place because it doesn't really impact the story. It could have been in the summer and it would have been the same outcome, would have been the same story. I mean, obviously you'd have to take out the Christmas songs, the jumpers, the trees, the just general references to Christmas. I do believe as well that the other thing that people were saying this is why it's not a Christmas movie is the time of year it was released. I think it was released in February in the UK, but there was somewhere else in the world it was released in July, and they're not typically months that you'd release Christmas movies, so I think that has been another argument that's being used as to why it's not a Christmas film. But those are the only two things I could find about why it's not a Christmas movie. So let's move on to why people believe it is. So the movie begins with John McClane visiting his wife Holly. Now Holly is a notorious Christmas plant, so there we've already started to get our first kind of hint around the Christmas connection. Now, okay, that could be a bit of a far-fetched one. That could just be a coincidence that his wife's called Holly and maybe we're trying to make connections where there aren't any, but I'm going to allow it. So he's going to visit Holly on Christmas Eve at her Christmas party, and the songs that we hear, things like Let It Snow and Jingle Bells, are all on the musical score. So far, feeling pretty Christmassy. At the very core of the story, if we take out the violence, if we take out the terrorism side of it, it is a father trying to get home to his family, to his children, to celebrate Christmas. That is what's at the very, very core of the entire story. This isn't dissimilar to Planes, Trains and Automobiles, and I actually consider that to be a Christmas movie. Let me know if you don't agree with me there. You can also draw parallels between Hans Gruber and The Grinch. They are both trying to take things at Christmas which do not belong to them, albeit one has a lot more guns and violence in than the other, but you can kind of see the connection that I'm making there. Speaking of which, that classic line of "now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho," that wouldn't have worked if the movie was set any other time but Christmas, right? Surely you can't deny that. So let's look at some of the more subtle nods to Christmas in Die Hard. Now, for one, at the end of the film where John McClane has the guns attached to his back by tape, the tape says "Season's Greetings." It is Christmas tape. And my last point about why people consider it to be a Christmas movie, the writer says it's a Christmas movie. I mean, that is kind of like, you know, the holy grail of why it is, right? If the writer says this is a Christmas movie, then it has to be considered a Christmas movie. Not to fail to mention that every year, if you look at the Google stats, Google searches for Die Hard spike in December, not in summer, not in July, in the winter, around Christmas. So for me, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't think that you can really argue the point with things that I've mentioned. I mean, do let me know if you don't agree, but let me know why you don't believe it. Is it because it is violent? Is it because you believe it could be set in another time and nothing would have to change? For me, anything can be a Christmas movie. Anything can be Christmassy if you create it as part of your tradition. So for me, I watch a few of the same movies every year. Die Hard is one of them. For me, definitely a Christmas movie. Another one which I watch every Christmas is Moana. Definitely not a Christmas movie. But every time I put that movie on, it reminds me of Christmas, and therefore it is my movie I watch at Christmas. Traditions are what you make them, not necessarily standard. As long as you're having fun, does it really matter? So guys, this is actually my last video of 2024. It's a little bonus video. I just wanted to throw in there, start a little bit of controversy before Christmas, maybe a little bit of discussion before everyone signs off for the festivities. I hope you have an amazing Christmas, and thank you for all of your support this year. We're back in January with lots more content planned, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that. I hope you have a wonderful time off, whatever it is you're doing, and until next time, you take care.